Yo, Captain Daniel Kim. In this video, I'm gonna talk about how to be a top G, like Andrew Tate talks about. Actually, I'm gonna do the opposite. So, Andrew Tate, he's been getting very viral over videos, motivational videos about, hey, do this and, be the 1% of the alpha man, be 1% of this and blah, 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 blah. And, there's a lot of things I actually agree with him. I feel like he has definitely supported in terms of masculinity, not toxic masculinity, about how to become a man. But, recently I was watching one of his videos and, the whole Asian Andrew Tate thing, like I said, I don't want to be Asian Andrew Tate. In the end, I want to be Asian Daniel Kim. I want to be Asian Captain Daniel Kim. Actually, my role model is Bruce Lee, right? I feel like his philosophy and the way he talked about it was better. But the whole point of this video is to talk about one of the concepts that Andrew takes about, how he says, and his brother too, he says, work so hard, become one of the 1% of the man you can be, and of all the men. So outwork your competition, be the alphas, right? And, this is something that I personally thought too, and as an Asian man, and this is for my Asian male viewers, it's interesting to see a white Caucasian male who is 6 foot, probably over, he's already jacked, he has tattoos, he has that masculine look, and telling other men who can possibly look like him, oh, be top G, work out, all that stuff, look good. And I could do that same message to my Asian brothers. Be like, yo, just like the Asian says, be top G, be top male, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Andrew Tate doesn't know how it feels to be a 5'5" Asian guy. Even I don't, but I know I'm Asian. They don't know how, in our family culture, our first thing is listen to our parents, be successful, be a doctor, and be a lawyer. What he says is get that Bugatti, make your money, become a multimillionaire, and everything will fall in place, especially with women. He says that if you become this top G, work hard for 3 years, become a multimillionaire, and the girls will just come to you, just like our parents kind of said. But now he's kind of saying the same message, like just be even better, be even multimillionaire, and you'll get the girls. And one thing I realized as a dating coach is that most of my students have worked their butts off. They worked their asses off for 10, 20 years, became a doctor, be a lawyer. I have a student who actually is, I would say in terms of monetary, is a top G. And they all have some kind of money. And, they're not rolling around in Lamborghinis and Ferraris, but I think that's because we also have obligation as Asians that we take care of our parents too. We have some kind of family values where we want to make sure our family's taken care of. And I think we don't show off like that, right? We don't just buy a Ferrari and roll around. You actually don't see a lot of Asian multimillionaires just showing off their money, spending these crazy money. It's actually a lot of like non-Asian guys, right, who do that. We're not showy. It's not in our culture. So what he's saying, I personally think, doesn't relate directly to Asian men because we face a different thing. We face racism. We face stereotypes. And let's say we become top Gs financially and we compete against these other Asian guys or other white guys, like they'll still have the advantage because just racism exists and stereotypes exist. So my advice to you guys, to my Asian brothers out there who are looking at maybe Asian Andrew's videos and, man, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but start with this first. Figure out what your top G looks like, what your version of it looks like. And do you even want to have that thing that what the Tate brothers say? Or what is your version of it? Because to be honest, I don't want to spend money and just look like this money. Do I really want a Ferrari? I want to Aston Martin for sure, but do I really want this crazy lifestyle and have a girl join me because of this lifestyle I live, because I'm staying in penthouse suites and stuff? Honestly, I want a penthouse suite for my own comfort. I want to, I don't want to buy a woman just a Chanel bag. Like I want to buy my mom that first, but I don't want to just buy her and have the ability to buy her to get her to like me. I guess for me and a lot of my students that come to me, they have the success and some of them actually use money and took care of their women like that, but they didn't like that transactional feeling they got. They're like, does this girl really like me? And yeah, you could be a top G, like fuck feeling, excuse my language, F the feelings, F whatever. But I think in the end, like us Asian men, we have a different priority list, I feel like. Not all Asian guys. I think some Asian guys will really relate to Asian. And I kind of did. I do want to be more financially successful and everything like that. But in terms of what he's saying, it's like, especially the women part, that women will just come. I think that's not the best message because as Asian guys, we don't learn how to even talk to women. Our father and, they kind of just say, be smart, do all this, and women will just naturally just come and what about connection too, right? Like, or you know, he skips the part that social skills are necessary, and how do you learn that? And I feel like that, you know, most of my students who have made the career, they kind of lost in translation where they worked their butts off, and they made at least a decent, like, above middle class, right? They might not be 1% of 1%ers, but they did pretty well for themselves. But now you're telling a message that, hey, work harder and become a multi-millionaire or billionaire, 100-millionaire, and then it'll be easier to get girls, be the 1% of all the alpha males. But even, let's say my students do that and they become 10 more years, they work hard for that, or 5 more years, right? Let's say they really run in 5 years. But in those, let's say 5 years, and they do this again at 35, they're 40 years old with no social skills. So how can a woman who wants, a beautiful woman who wants the most affluent lifestyle, the only way you're gonna even keep her or even make her like you is just gonna with your money and your status, which fine, that is one way to really attract women. But I think money and status won't keep a girl. Like, yes, if you pay for her livelihood and like she depends on you, maybe, but is that even a true trust and connection? I think a better way to do is you reach a certain standpoint of, let's say you're a doctor or you have a good standard of living. For right now, learn the social skills and date women. Date women now as a middle-aged man, as a middle-class man. Learn how to date women, and they don't have to be the supermodel, whatever. And I got all that baggage that comes with the really hot women, like they don't even know. So I think right now, experience the women at this age, at this level, and then if you want even higher, I guess you could physically higher quality women who, even quality is relative, right? But subjective. But if you want higher physically hot women, then yeah, then think about making more money. Because I do think more money and more status helps that for sure, even if you have the social skills. But I do think a lot of men has to have that phase where they date women. I think giving the advice of don't chase women, just focus all on money, focus on status, career. Dude, most of our Asian guys, my Asian students, have done that. I've done that. I focused on career. I haven't become a multi-millionaire, and maybe that is the way I could have got hotter women. But that takes a long time. That takes a lot of effort. And I feel like in between, you need to learn the social skills of how to understand women too. And I understand where a woman's coming from, have emotional empathy, emotional intelligence. You can't just get rich and be like, with money, I'm gonna get all the girls. I think that's a very hard message to pass on to people because, so personally, I can't say like Andrew Tate's right or wrong, right? Because I haven't become like the 1% in terms of financial that he's talking about, or even status or fame, right? But I do know I still learned the social skills. Before I was a dating coach, I learned from other dating coaches and learned about confidence, emotional intelligence. And I think it dramatically helped me in terms of, so let's say I become the 1% now, which, is a goal of mine. I will understand women better. And let's say a woman, because there's always gonna be either someone equally rich to you or more rich. That's just facts, right? Like the richest person in the world, like unless he comes into you and you are that richest person, you're not gonna beat everyone. So at some point, the woman who you want is gonna make a decision between you and the other guy. And if the other guy has better social skills or has more emotional empathy and emotional intelligence, she's gonna go for him, especially if you have the same kind of money, same kind of status. So I do think that it's a balance. You need to be successful, but also learn the social skills and the confidence and have the inner game to talk to these women. I think that's huge. And I think, there's a lot of positives about what Andrew Tate talks about, but it's not just about get money, get the nice cars, they get the word get bees and get money. I think it's a balance, guys, because if it was just that, then, every man should be just spending money on business and YouTube, and everyone should just do that. So just be careful with the messaging out there. Remember, you still need the emotional intelligence, the social skills of how to talk to women, and the biggest thing is understanding women. I think that's huge. Understand what women like, what they want, why are they, act in a certain way, and I think that also helps you, and that will take you a lot further than just becoming a multi-billionaire or whatever. So that's my 2 cents on that, and I hope you guys watched this video and got a lot from it. Captain Daniel Kim out.